All
I'm gonna
right.
mute myself too, so I don't.
So, okay, we're recording now. Um, I, first of all, I am not an expert on Instagram, but I have learned a lot. And my sister-in-law, who was gonna do this call with me, she had something come up, and I kept trying to make it work with our time frame, but it didn't work. So I'm just going with everything she's taught me and gonna share that with you. Um, so First of all, it's obviously important to be, making good pictures. So I am not an expert at that either. I try my best, not to have clutter in the background and like to have decent lighting and stuff like that and to make them clear. But I think having good pictures is important, and having a overall like feel or theme to your your Instagram gallery, I guess you would call it. And my sister-in-law is really good at that. I kind of just post like me, my life, who I am, and that's kind of how I go about it. But basically the tips that she's given me that have been super helpful is the profile, like what you write about yourself and what it says. She says to be as niche focused as you can be. So to me, because I just used, and I know people say this all the time, like, okay, just list your top 5 things that relate to you or that, are part of who you are. And I think that can be good. But she said that you build a bigger following when you have a really specific niche. So I still feel like my niche is kind of broad. It's like joyful, happy people, basically. And that's what she told me, like she saw when she looked through my profile. So I was like, okay, well that works. And I mean, it says I'm a mom and a wife, and that's my biggest, identity. But I don't say anything about like fitness or healthy eating or anything like that. It just says like a holistic lifestyle. Because for me, I post stuff about my faith. I post stuff about like my family. I post stuff about my friends. I post stuff about anything that I like. And like, I really try to have a balanced, healthy approach. So that was kind of how she guided me to put in my profile. And then the other huge thing that she's helped me with, so when I started as a new coach, I had Instagram, but I like rarely used it. Okay, I was private. I had 170 followers, and they were all my personal friends. And I probably posted there like once a month or something. I did not use Instagram very much, so I did not know much about it. And through hashtags alone, so the way that I learned how to do hashtags, I watched Amy and I watched Stephanie Davies, and I saw what they were doing, putting all their hashtags in a comment below the caption. Like whatever you write about your picture, you're doing in a comment below it all your hashtags, so that it doesn't look super cluttered and they don't see like only hashtags when they go to look at your stuff. Because you can click like see more, and you want to make sure that they're seeing your post and not necessarily all the comments, because people don't see the comments unless they go to actually comment themselves. So the hashtag is really important. You can do up to 30, and that's between your comment and your own post. So you want to try to maximize that. And it's really easy to search hashtags and find the ones that are, relevant to you and who you are and what you relate to. So you're going to try to make, and I keep a list of all the hashtags in my notes section on my phone. So all I have to do is just copy and paste, and I leave a couple of them blank with just like the hashtag, and then I can click on that and add whatever I want that's relevant to that post. Because you don't want to do exactly the same hashtags for every single post, because then you're not going to get new eyes on your stuff. Now, also about hashtags, if you're not public, like if you're only a private account, no one can find your hashtags. So you've got to change your profile so that it's public, because otherwise the hashtags are just funny, basically. Like people do them even though their account's private, really just because it's a popular, like trendy thing. But if you want people actually to find you, you need your hashtags or your whole account to be public. Okay. And then another thing that she's talked to me about is giveaways. I've only done I think one on Instagram so far, but and it's simple. There are some, at least the one I do is simple. There are some that are like, click through this, and then you end up clicking through 10 different profiles, and I hate those. Those are called like chain giveaways, I think, or something like that. Don't do that. If you want to do a giveaway, you want to, create a deadline for when they can enter by, and just say they need to like your page or your, profile, and they need to tag a friend, and that's all they have to do. And then they're entered is usually how I do it, so that you get people engaged. You can tell them too that if they do more, if they tag more friends, they can get more entries. But so that's, the giveaways have been really cool. And I know you can get a lot of followers from that, like new followers. I haven't had a lot of success with it yet, but I've only done one. So I think that, and the more value you put into your giveaway, the better. Like I know she's a writer, so her niche market is really different than mine, but she did like a $50 gift card as one of her giveaways. And I think she got quite a few new followers through that. So that's, and I've only done like Shakeology giveaways so far. And then, okay, this is something else that's really cool that I've been trying. And so what I have on Facebook, so it's like a challenge to get people transferred over from Instagram to Facebook, because like it's so much easier to build your following through Instagram because you can just follow a ton of people. And I'll come back to that. I kind of skipped over that part, how to build a following. So I'm getting sidetracked, but getting people transferred over from Instagram to Facebook. So what I did is I have a Fit page, and I know there's different approaches with that, but my Fit page is really cool for a few reasons. First of all, it is me being forward thinking about having my business outgrow my Facebook, because my Facebook, you can only have 5,000 friends, which I'm nowhere near, but there's no way I can be friends with every single person that potentially wants to follow me in the future. And so if I have a Fit page, there's a place where people can follow me and not necessarily be my friend, but they can still see what I'm doing. I know like Amy has, 4,000 followers on her Fit page, so it's obviously beneficial for her to have that. And then she doesn't have 4,000 friends yet. But and you can also pay for ads on your Fit page. So going back to transferring people from Instagram to Facebook, I created, through my Fit page, you can make public events. So I made a public event for this. I'm running a free Crock-Pot group with my team. And I made the event public, and then I copied the link. I didn't really invite anyone except my coaches. Okay, I didn't invite like my whole friends list or anything. So I copied the link from that account, and then I put it as my website in my Instagram profile. And I've been promoting my Crock-Pot group in Instagram and saying like, comment I'm in, or, say I want to join or something if they want to be part of it. I've probably gotten 12 people transferred over from Instagram to Facebook through just telling them, click on that link and click going to the event, and then I'll send you a friend request and we'll be connected. And it's awesome. It's so easy. It's a free group that they don't have to commit to yet, but I can start connecting with them and building that relationship and potentially move them into coaches or challengers in the future. So I think that's really been powerful for me to start really promoting that. And I've only really seen much growth with that through building my Instagram following. So going back to that, so I started with 170 followers, and then through just organic hashtags and people finding me, I grew to about 700. And then I just felt kind of stagnant. And my sister-in-law was telling me, okay, well, what you do to find new followers is you go to their page, and then you like a couple of their pictures, and then you make a comment so that you pop up in their, notifications. The problem with that is the more followers you get, the more notifications you get, and it can get really overwhelming, and you don't even look at every single person that likes your stuff. You look at who follows you, because, I don't know, you get less followers, you get less followers than you do notifications on likes and comments and stuff. So so I stopped doing that, and she said, what I've been doing that has been really beneficial is, and it's a little bit controversial because some people don't like this approach, like having the so you basically follow someone's profile. You find a general page that you relate to. So like for me, I often gravitate towards like vegan, gluten-free bakers and cookbooks and stuff like that. And I follow them. And then what I do is every day, this is what I've been doing for probably a month, and every day I go into one of those pages that I relate to. Also Bible studies for me, like Christian authors, Christian books, like anything that relates to me and who I am. And I follow the top So the followers list is in order of who follows when. So like the very top, when you click followers on someone else's profile, the top ones are the most recently liked. So you're gonna wanna go in and find one of those pages and like the top 200. I know that's a lot. It literally takes less than 5 minutes. So it doesn't take that long and you get a lot. And Instagram actually stops you once you get to 200, like you can't follow more than 200 at once. So you don't have to count, you just keep doing it until it won't let you anymore. And it's obvious when it won't let you. So I do that, and then within a day, I get like 25 to 50 followers just from that. And so and then I go back in a few days and I unfollow them. And I was really hesitant about that at first. I'm like, well, I need to connect with everyone. And my sister-in-law was like, no, you can connect with people through other ways. You can go to their page, like their profile, you can like their stuff, you can send them messages. They don't have to approve your request because they're following you, okay? And you don't wanna have, if you see your profile or someone's profile and it says like, they have 100 followers, but then they're following like 1,000, what you think is, okay, this person just follows everyone. Like it's not, and I don't know all the reasoning behind this, but she really discouraged me from, just following everybody that follows me. So I've been having to go through and unfollow people. And the way that I do that is I basically have my own following on the people that I like, my personal coaches, my personal friends, and like businesses or companies that I'm really passionate or wanting to connect with, and top coaches. Those are the people that I want to follow. So when I go to my own following, I scroll down until I get to the people who I actually know, who I've recently followed, who I want to continue following, and then I start unfollowing from there. So like I said, it's in order of when you follow them. So you just scroll down and you get to the people that you actually want to follow, and then you start unfollowing above that. Does that make sense? Ask questions, because I know I'm giving a lot of information.
So, yeah, I guess my concern was like, okay, what if you, like, I just don't want to accidentally unfollow somebody who I do want to follow. But I guess your strategy is really just, if you're just doing that, then you know that those top ones are those people from that particular group.
Yes. Yeah.
So, because like for me, like, I don't always do this every day, but sometimes I search a hashtag or I find somebody new that I want to follow just completely randomly, because maybe they followed me randomly. And so then I'm like, oh, I look at her profile and I'm like, oh, she's a nurse too. Oh, look, she has kids and blah, blah, blah. And I start looking and thinking, okay, I want to follow her. So like, how do I make sure she doesn't get lost in the middle? And then I accidentally, yeah.
Okay, so I would say, I hear what you're saying, but here's the thing. If she's following you, she's going to engage with you eventually. And so even if you unfollow her, that's okay. You're still going to be like, she'll be watching you and she will comment or like on something that and that's when you know that they're really interested too. So you don't want to waste too much. I would say don't waste too much energy like trying to figure out who you want to. I mean, there's the occasional like actual person I know in person who like follows me and I'm like, oh shoot, I don't want to like unfollow them because I actually see them all the time or whatever. And then you just kind of hopefully you don't notice. But I think it's also for me letting go of like that it's not my personal thing anymore. It's a business account. And if my friends get offended because I accidentally unfollow them, like, I don't know what to tell you, So I think that I just wouldn't spend too much energy worrying about that because people will engage with you if they're actually interested. So, so I've grown my following by doing that, the follow unfollow thing I've grown it from 700 to like 2,400 in probably a month. And so my sister-in-law and I, our goal is both to hit 10,000 followers by like December. That's what we're going for. Like the new year, that's like our New Year's resolution to hit that 10,000 followers mark. Because once you hit 10,000 followers, things really start to pick up. And you also, she said there's this unofficial like status where it's called influencer status, where you basically can get like paid promotions. Companies can reach out to you and say, hey, like we want you to promote our products on your page, and you can kind of decide what you want to do with that. But that's when, you really start to get a lot of people engaging in your stuff too. And all the top coaches like have a significant amount of followers on Instagram, I would say, unless they're really focused on Facebook only, they have a significant amount of followers. So, yeah. Any other questions you guys have for me? No? Well,
okay, yeah, of course I do. So
thank you.
Okay, I'm just thinking about, okay, I've never tried your strategy before, but obviously it's worked to gain followers. And I think, one thing that I have started doing that's a little bit newer for me at least was, the going to a page like you're saying of something, like for me, I went to the Ergo baby page. So I'm like, I always have pictures of me carrying my baby in the Ergo. And I'm like, I'm a baby wearing mama. That's like part of my thing or whatever, part of my brand. And I like how you talked about like, you're sharing your life and just who you are. And in a way that does kind of naturally just create like your look and your brand. But there is, definitely, like you were saying, when you're going for those clear pictures and like the look of your business, like you kind of want to have a look of your business so that when people are scrolling through their Instagram, that they kind of like in a split second can like recognize you. And honestly, that's how I kind of found Stephanie Davies, is because her pictures just kind of have a look to them, a brand to them, where after a while, like somebody else was liking her stuff and it started popping up in my stuff so much. And I finally was just like, who is this? And started following her. Right. But so like I went to the Ergo baby and clicked on their followers and I'm like following some of their people. And I think, I like that strategy of like, just finding quality followers. And I think there is, some benefit to just like, if you think about, if you go to somebody's page and they have 300 followers, but you went to somebody else's page and they had a couple thousand followers, you would maybe be more interested, like, okay, what is this person about? Because a lot of people are following this person. So definitely making a brand and thinking of Instagram as since it's so visual, like think of it as like your magazine of your life is what I've heard people say, that it needs to kind of be, have a brand, have a look.
Yeah.
And so are you doing, so like, it sounds like your strategy is getting a lot of people to come to your page, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you doing maybe kind of beyond that to try to engage and like build relationships with some of these people? Or are you just waiting for the people that actually engage with you to start engaging back with you?
So yeah, I'm definitely, I'm kind of doing both, I guess. But mostly I do just focus on the people who like or comment on my stuff. Like if I posted, about the Crockpot group, I messaged everyone that liked that post and just said, hey, I saw that you might be interested. Would you like to join me? And then I just explained to them how to do it. I just said, all you have to do is click on the link in my bio. I'd love to have you and we can connect more on Facebook. And I just left it at that. And so I am kind of just waiting for them to engage. And once you have more people, I feel like you can do that more. You don't have to put a ton of energy into all the people who are just following you, who haven't said anything in months or you don't even know. And along that same lines, I was going to mention, it's really cool to have a business Instagram account because they can click contact and you get it linked to your email and they can directly email you. And I've gotten a couple people that are just like, hey, what are you doing? I'm curious, or sending me information about what they do or whatever it is, but they have a really easy way to just contact you. And you can't do a business account unless you have a Facebook business account. So you can't link it to your personal because they won't recognize it being a business page. So I think that's another reason to have a fit page.
And I know like Kim, you and I were talking about this the other day, and it's, like it's different from what I was doing a year ago and 2 years ago when I was only doing my fit page. But like, we have to stand out amongst everything else in the news feed. And there's other people out there like doing different MLMs and, other Beachbody coaches out there. So it's kind of like, trying to figure out how to stand out You know, like she's saying, I have my Instagram attached to my fitness page. So everything I post on Instagram, I always share to my fitness page. I also, like, I love that you mentioned that you keep your hashtags in your notes. So that will save you a lot of time and a lot of like brain power when you're sitting there trying to be like, okay, what more hashtags should I put on? If you think about it, the longer you wait, the further your picture goes down in that hashtag as well. And so you want to get your hashtags up there like ASAP, so you don't want too much leg time. And what I did is I actually, right now, I think I have 3 different options that I use for my hashtag groupings. There's a lot of the same ones in there, but then it's like I have one that I always use when I do like some sort of transformation post that has more hashtags that I feel like need to go with that. And then if I have stuff that's just like me around the house doing mom stuff, I kind of have my grouping for that. And then, you know, we were talking about how, you know, we're using our personal pages a lot more now, and don't worry about, you know, am I spamming people with the same post? Because the reality is, especially for most people who have maybe just started in this last year, your fitness page only has, you know, a handful of followers. Facebook's being really stingy. They want you to pay to play for, you know, showing your stuff. And so, and I mean, like Kim said, I have over 4,000 followers, and sometimes I'll only get like over 100, you know, views on my fitness page. And I'm like, what the heck, Facebook? I hate you. I've given you so much money and you still don't show my stuff to people. So then I copy everything and I just put it on my personal page. And I encourage you to do that versus sharing it from your fitness page. I'm not saying you can never do that, because like certain things, like maybe a live video or whatever, you might need to share. But in general, try to just make it look like you posted it organically on your personal page. And I'm putting everything there now. I did this kind of halfway thing for a while, and I realized that I wasn't telling my full story in either place. I was like, a little bit here, a little bit there, and then I was like, no. Our goal for this is we need to try to get as many eyeballs on our stuff as we can. If it bugs somebody, you know, whatever, that's their own problem, right? They can just go fly a kite and get off Facebook and stop scrolling the feed so much because they're seeing our posts too many times, right? So like, get over that. And you need to up your posting, but make sure it's quality, make sure you're adding value, giving people a reason to come back and follow you, especially if it's on Instagram and they're going to come and see, what is this girl about who just followed me? You want your first, you know, post that they see to be quality, right? I actually stopped like announcing new coaches or rank advancements on Instagram just because I didn't like how it looked personally, and I want to keep my Instagram looking like my magazine. So I really just reserve that for Facebook. That's just my personal preference, but I just want you guys to think very visually about what you're posting, and that you're adding value, and not worrying, you know, if you're posting too much, because like I said, we all might think that, but like the reality is that Facebook, they want you to pay to play. So use both pages, try to make it show up organically, that sort of thing.
And I thought of a couple other things while you were talking. So Amy asked me, because I told her about this strategy I was doing a while ago, and she said, what about the private people? What do you do with those? And I said, oh my goodness, we follow them. We are like, you know, follow them, request to follow them. And then they follow you back. Sometimes they don't even approve for me to follow them, but they follow me. And those are really the people that we want. And here's why. Because people that are public are often running a business, or they're part of an MLM, or they're already a Beachbody coach. You want the private people to start following you because they really don't have a lot of friends, and they're going to see a lot of your stuff. And if they're interested, they'll keep following you, and they'll continue to be curious about what you're doing. So I definitely say to do that. And then also, if I'm not promoting an event, sorry, someone's at my door. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Amy, you go.
I can always talk about something, right? Well, I don't have anything right now. I just think that Kim is dropping some really amazing nuggets right now. Like, I love this.
Okay, back to my thought. Thank you. When I'm not like sharing my Facebook like link to an event or something that I'm doing, I have a link to my website But I've done it through tinyurl.com, which is free. And you just put in your like your Beachbody website, and then you can change the name. So like mine is just, I think, Kimber Law Fitness, because I used to go by that name. I should probably make a new one. And it says like tinyurl.com, Kimber Law Fitness. And they click on that. That's how they get to my website. And first of all, they don't know immediately I'm a Beachbody coach. They have to actually go there and see what it is. So I think that's important. And then I've actually had 2 people just randomly buy from me through that link. And I haven't talked to them at all. They just went and they're like, hey. And I actually reached out to them like, oh my goodness, you just bought this thing. Like, tell me what you're working on. Like, I'd love to chat with you. And so I think it's really powerful to have access to that, because there are people like that out there who do that, who just buy stuff. And
where are you putting that link?
In my Instagram website place, you know.
Okay.
Well,
so that's showing up on your profile?
Yes, but it's only the tiny URL thing.
Right.
So it's not like it's beachbody.com / you know.
Yeah, but it goes to your Beachbody account.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's great. Yeah, because I've heard from different people about like, you know, not putting I'm a Beachbody coach like in your, you know, profile, because unfortunately a lot of people have that like aversive reaction to that right away. And you know, it's like we want people to know what we're doing and we're not ashamed of it, right? We're not. But like I think you know, like I said with Stephanie, I had no idea she was a Beachbody coach. I didn't even know what one was. I was just attracted to the good vibes she was putting out, and I liked her brand, and it was like I related to her as like a mom, and you know, and so, you know, like mine says that, you know, I'm a mom and that I'm a labor and delivery nurse and a health and fitness coach. So I'm saying that I have, you know, I do that, but I'm not just being like, I'm a Beachbody rep, here's my link, you know. But I love that, making the tiny URL, because I know a lot of people that do that. I've never actually made one, but I like that.
Yeah, it's really helpful, and it's totally free. I've done it for other things too, like the coach application that I've made, which I'm not really using much right now, but like I have a tiny URL for that has my team information on it and stuff. And so it's, yeah, you can wait. So yeah, I think I don't know. Any other questions? Holly, do you have any questions? Other girls on here who we can't see their faces, but I'm sure they're there. Well, if you guys do come up with any questions, you can just put these in the team page, and I can try to either answer or talk to my sister-in-law, who knows a lot more about this. And she actually did where she learned all this is she took a training through this person called Hillary Rushford, I think is her name. And she paid to do like a training, and now she's part of a group on Facebook that you can only be part of if you paid to go through this training. And she can ask questions there about like how to build followers and just giveaways and all the different aspects of Instagram. So that's still something I want to do, but for now, like her tips have been enough for me. So I'm like, once I kind of feel like I've outgrown her expertise, then I will do it myself, is what I'm thinking. So yeah.
One more thing. I know that this is about Instagram, but I was just thinking about like, you know that like Holly, you were on the Wife Power Hour and stuff. And sometimes like, I feel like you kind of are like, okay, like where do I start? What do I do? Like even with like friend requests and stuff like that. And just one thing about like Facebook is that, you know, you do want to constantly be adding to that. Like Kim said, you can have up to 5,000 friends. And I know a lot of people still keep their Facebook private, and I understand people's reasons for that. And I always want to completely respect that. Like for me personally, you know, I just feel like some people are not going to see your stuff then. Whereas if you're public, then if somebody likes it or they might share something that you post, you know, you're just, the aim is to get as much exposure and as many eyeballs on your stuff as possible. And so like when you're adding friends and stuff, like going to different friends or families' profiles and clicking on their friends list, and then looking through there, because then you'll find a lot of people that you're like, oh, I actually do know that person. Especially when you're starting to grow your following and your friends list.
And even
I We did that with my husband's the other day, and I was like, there were so many people on there that I'm like, I know this person. Why am I not friends with them? Oh my gosh. So that's how I spent my power hour, was like, I sent like 10 friend requests to people that were on his friends list. And then if anybody says like, hey, do I know you or whatever, then you're just like, oh, well, you're like, hey, I run my business through Facebook, and I always love to add fresh faces to my network. But I totally get it. If you don't want to accept it, that's fine. Usually they do. They're like, oh, just a nice person, right? Yeah. So that's a strategy for adding to Facebook.
Yeah, and also, like, I think with the decision to make your account public, I think you just go in and you, like, clean up the things like your previous employment history, take that out, like take out the things that make it so people can literally find you. You don't want people to literally find you. If you're public, you need to, you know, take some safety security precautions as well. So that, like, I took out all my employment history recently because I just don't want people to know that much about me and be able to figure out exactly where I live or where I work or worked or whatever, you know? So, and I never like tag my location anymore. I used to do that. And then we had some experiences and I was like, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. I can be more vague. I don't need to check in everywhere, you know? So I think if you put those precautions in, it's not as risky to be public. That's what I think, but yeah. Okay, guys, we're running out of time, but I hope this was helpful. And any other last minute thoughts or questions? Holly?
No, thanks. This is really helpful. I got like 3 pages of notes. So.
Yes, good. I'm glad. All right, guys.
Just make sure to end the recording and then post it in the team page because this is really great. Thank you.
Yes. My sister-in-law, I really wanted her here. It's like all her knowledge that I've just been like, Heather, tell me more. What do you do for this? What do you do for this? And
you can take the credit.
Yeah, she doesn't care. So, okay. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.